this closer. Alright, here we go. Alright. I gotta play as a hybrid. Slide my chair a little closer. Excellent. Okay. Good. Okay. I gotta get 3 more zones, play as a hybrid, and play as anything. Alright, let's do this. I'm going to try PvP first. I'm going to try doing PvP first and just see how things go. If it does not work well and my timing is just all off because of this weird, like, I don't think it's latency. I just think it's an issue of Wi-Fi. I really do. So we're just going to see how this works. And if this doesn't work, we'll switch to PvAI, and we'll just do that for the night. But we're going to try this. We're going to see how this works. Let's break out Ocelot. Let's just see how this goes. I honestly don't know what's going to happen, guys. So hello everybody, welcome to the stream. This isn't going to be a super long stream. We're only going to be on for a little bit because I don't trust the Wi-Fi. It holds okay when I'm making videos or when I'm doing stuff on the PC, but the PlayStation, it's a little wonky. And I can play, but I feel like there's this sort of lag or not latency, like almost like the it's almost like there are moments where I'll see an attack coming and I'll be like, oh, like, well, I should parry that now, but then even though I make the moves, I still get hit. And it's almost like there's this microsecond delay between my action and what I'm seeing, and it's really infuriating. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happened to me enough while testing it that I'm like, this may be a problem. So we're going to try PvP first, but if we run into that problem a lot, I'm just going to switch to AI, because while I'm home, that may be what I have to do. Once I get back to Bluffton and my normal, and I can connect to a LAN cable and get strong internet again, then we should be good. But we'll see. We'll see. But I know that once I switch to AI, people are going to go, why fight bots? Why fight AI? And I'm going to go, F off, man. F off. I don't want to hear that. You're even glad to finally catch you live. I refound your channel after a while, and I've been really enjoying your DBD Explained vids. You're still doing the Five Nights at Freddy chapter Explained, right? Yes, that will be the next one. I've got to read up on some Springtrap lore, read up on what the Dead by Daylight devs did, and really get a feel for their perks, and then after that, I will make their video. It's going to take a bit. It's going to take a bit because I've got other projects I want to work on. And it's hard for me to work on stuff here because the dog is so needy. Right now, she's downstairs hanging out in the living room, and she's being quiet right now, but if she starts whimpering and whining and carrying on, I will put her in her crate. Like, she knows the score. She knows that she's not allowed upstairs because this is Dad's office space, and he doesn't want her in here. And she knows that when we're upstairs working, she's got to behave. So she knows the score. So just because I'm the only one home does not mean that she gets to run rampant. So if she starts whining and carrying on and throwing a fit, I put her in the crate, and she knows that that means, all right, you're in timeout. You sit in timeout and you calm down. She's honestly a really good dog, but she is just so hyper. There we go. Introduce that warmonger to gravity. And I promise you, the relationship will be intimate. I'm doing okay, Nina. I'm doing okay. Uh-oh. Okay. It would be a Hitakiri. It would be a Hitakiri, because they're just so much fun. Most fun character in the game, Hitakiri. Y'all all know this. Hitakiri is just such a good character. Doesn't totally make the game impossibly ass-numbingly annoying to play. I'll admit, Hitakiri isn't quite as annoying to me as Kyoshin, but they're close. It is very close. It really depends. Ocelot's a cool hero. Ocelot's kind of a brain-dead hero, if I'm being honest. I mean that in a good and bad way. I mean it in a good way because it doesn't require a lot of IQ points to use him properly. But I say that in a bad way because it doesn't require a lot of IQ points to use him properly. Alright, let's go, Sent. Oh, no, you're not Sent. You guys are so fun! I love the constant bleed spam. Nobushi, you play like a bitch. Do you even know what a heavy attack looks like? Nobushi, why do you only throw lights? Remember I just got Sohei yesterday? Yeah, play him. Sohei's fun. You enjoyed watching us tear into Aurella's lore? Yeah, Aurella's lore is pretty garbage. No question. There's a shaman? No, there's no shaman on the team. That worked incredibly well. Yeah, I was afraid of that. I was afraid of that. Yeah, I was afraid this would happen. The Wi-Fi just is not strong enough. Shit. I told you guys at the very start of the stream, the Wi-Fi is untrustworthy. See, I did not lie to you guys. I told you. No, Spirit, it was not Ubi servers. Do not blame Ubisoft for this. I'm in a place with bad Wi-Fi. This is not Ubi's fault. This is entirely the fault of the Wi-Fi here. If I had a LAN cable, it wouldn't be so bad. Even though Wi-Fi can handle streaming a game that does not need online play. I don't have many of those. Let's try playing against the bots and see if that makes a difference. It probably won't, but we will try. I understand that Ubi servers are bad anyway. Look, Spirit, I don't like doing that. I really don't like doing that. I'm not blaming you. I don't like it when people just automatically run bad Ubi, bad, Ubi bad. I don't like that. I hate when people do that. Because, look, I'm not saying that Ubi's practices are always good, and I'm not saying that their servers don't need work. But when we make it a habit to just immediately blame Ubisoft for everything that goes wrong, it sends a message to people that, you know, Ubi can't do well. So when they do something good, when they actually do release something of quality or make a good change, no one wants to give them credit for it because Ubi bad. So no, I'm not gonna play that game. It's not gonna be the Ubi server's bad. It wasn't my server's fault. Yeah, but they bad anyway. Well, no, I'm not gonna insult the servers when it's not their fault. If it's my Wi-Fi that's at fault, my Wi-Fi's at fault. I'm not gonna blame Ubi for that. I'm not gonna do that. That's horrible practice. That's incredibly dishonest, and it's just not right. It's just not right. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm not mad at you. I'm not blaming you. I'm just making it a point that I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to play that. Does player versus bot still need online? Yes. To do anything on For Honor, you need to be online.
You captured Zone C.
There's a good chill game where you can build medieval towns. You can play it called Tiny Glade. I'm not going to do that. I'm not into building games like that. That's not my thing. I'm not really into games where you just sit around and build shit. What's a choice?
You lost Zone C. You captured Zone C.
No, I get you. I get you. I remember you told us about from the video that you were going to be at your parents' place for those 10 days. So do you need? So you don't need to worry about it. I appreciate it, guys. I really do. We're on day number 2 right now because my parents left yesterday. Today my brother went back to Bluffton, so it's just me and the dog.
You lost Zone C. You lost Zone A.
On the right side, you have a fur baby. I love Della. I do love her. She's such a good girl, and she's adorable. She's a beautiful animal, but she is still in puppy phase, and because of that, she can be so hyper and so difficult to deal with. Like, it can be very frustrating sometimes. Like, it's hard for me to even work on videos and stuff because she just wants attention. She wants people around. And I would just, and I know y'all are thinking, well, just take the week off, man. Take these 10 days off. Play with the dog. 2 problems with that. Number one, I can't. I need to make money. Because of me buying this new PC, my projections have dropped significantly. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to make the profit I need this month to make bank. And so I have to be working, I have to stream, I have to make videos. Even if they're small, I have to be somewhat productive. And 2, even if I did just drop everything and just spent all my time with a dog, that's 10 days doing nothing but spending time with a dog. Like, I'd like to do other stuff while I'm at home, you know? I don't get to come home to mom and dad's place all that often.
You lost Zone A.
Raven could Vash or kill Azrael in their duel. Even bot Hitakiris are annoying. How are my folks? They're in England right now. Like, my parents went to England, so that's why I'm watching their house. Damn, this is turning into a really rough match. Because I dealt with a deflect spamming Orochi who wasn't afraid to throw feats. And I can definitely tell my reads are off.
You captured Zone C.
Anyway.
You captured Zone A.
Okay. Yeah, we're catching up now. We're catching up now.
You lost Zone C. You lost Zone A. You captured Zone A.
Fucking hate
Captured
Takiri.
Zone C.
Anyway, I honestly don't like ads popping up on old games like Plants vs. Zombies as an example because of greedy people out there. Oh, I'm sorry. What's your thoughts on Perturabo achieving Demonhood? I really do think that I'm going to do Ocelot later on. Like, my plan is for the For Honor Hero Analysis series, I'm going to... Nobushi's the most recent image that Jay has drawn, but I'm going to see if he can't do Ocelot next. Because I'd like to go ahead and do Ocelot and knock that out.
Your team is breaking.
I know I parried that.
Your team rallied.
I don't have Wilds downloaded.
Your team is breaking.
I'm having to lock in a little bit because I'm probably going to lose this.
Zone A. Enemy team is breaking. The enemy rally. Enemy team is breaking.
Oh well.
Defeat.
You okay, Raven? No, I'm not. I'm not okay. I'm very frustrated. The Wi-Fi here kicked me from the PvP match I was playing, so I'm stuck with playing bots probably for the rest of my time here. So it's very frustrating. Well, keep in mind, guys, that I'm having to use internet just to stream.
Round one.
So even if I were to go with a less Wi-Fi necessary game, I'm still using some to stream. And then there's the fact that because of this weird connectivity issue, my timing is off on a lot of attacks and responses. Brawl input. Yes, Cynic, I'm doing Brawl. I have an order to do Brawl. Holy shit.
Round two. Victory. Round three.
Alright, that's done with that.
Victory.
Alright. Now I gotta do duels. Alright. I'm still gonna play as a knight though.
Round one.
You got that. That's cool, get some. Definitely cool.
Round two.
Hey, thanks, Red Man. Appreciate it, man. Really do. All right.
Round three.
Did your opponent change weapons? No, they're using a mace and shield. That's what a fears always use. I'm scared to parry anything for fear that I'll mistime it. Wait, you blocked a top heavy from a full back? Wow. Do that again. The power of bots is impressive.
Victory. Round four. Victory.
I'm giving serious deliberation to just not streaming anymore this week. Or at least not until I get home. Because it's very frustrating. It's just really frustrating, but I know I have to try.
Round one. Victory.
The weapon that Warmonger wields is a Zweihander.
Victory. Round three.
Nah, Cynic, the Flamberge is the type of blade that she has. A Flamberge blade is a blade that is wavy, because it looks like a flame. But the Zweihander is the kind of sword. A Zweihander can have a Flamberge blade pattern, but not all Zweihanders have that. Anyway. Hey, Ren, I just joined. Hope your day is good. If not, then I hope that you feel better soon. You can do it. Well, it's not really that the day's been bad. I mean, look, here's the thing. The reason I'm not in the best of moods is because, like I said, Mom and Dad left yesterday. I was here with my brother this morning. We both had to go to the doctor's office because we both had appointments today. We actually scheduled our appointments to be today so that we could get them done this week while we're at home. Works out really well. But after Lark went to the doctor and we both left, Lark had to go back to Bluffton, back to our home, because he had obligations and he won't be back here until Thursday. So until Thursday, I am alone here with the dog. And I love the dog, I do, but she's not much of a conversationalist. You know, she's a puppy and she demands attention, and I will give her attention, but she's not so good at giving it back. You know what I mean? Like, I like some human company, or at least something to do, or people to talk to. But I don't have that. That's the problem. I don't have that. I mean, I can do it now because I'm streaming, but as we just saw, the Wi-Fi isn't working very well here, so I'm having to only play against bots, so I'm not even able to interact with people or invite people on to play with me or join other people's matches or anything of that nature. Like, I'm kind of stuck. And that's what really upsets me, is because I'm kind of in this situation. And so now I'm streaming against bots, and only bots. Like, I can't even have bots on my team. And I don't know, I just feel like it's a waste of time. I have to do it because I gotta try to make money, but did you see the teaser image of the rapier? Yeah, I saw it.
Victory! Round 2.
Yeah, living with Lark is awesome. He's a really good guy to be around, and he's very fun. I just hate that I'm gonna be here for a while without anyone. There we go.
Victory!
Where did the Bardiche come from? It's a 14th century polearm from Eastern Europe, so places like Russia, the Balkans, Prussia, places like that. I just got the Hammerhead Shark effect and it's so awesome. Yeah, I like it too. It's really good. All right, 3 more matches, 4 more matches in duel. All right, here we go.
Round 1.
Yeah, it is a really cool map. I love it. It's probably the best Dominion map out right now.
Victory!
Hey, Aaron, how you doing, man?
Round 2.
Or the Destroying Firstborn Regiment of the Imperial Guard caught your attention? Yeah, I read a book with them in it. You like the scent drip? That's Lark. That is Lark right there. What's my least favorite breach map?
Round 3.
Probably the Viking one, the Viking standard.
Victory!
Hey Tempest, how you doing, man? All right. One more match is a knight, so I got to pick a knight that can level up quick. Yeah, it does fit Lark very well. I think it's perfect for him. I think it fits Lark very, very well. Hey Spark, hope you're doing well. I'm not doing so hot tonight. We're trying to get through tonight, honestly. Mirror match. Okay.
Victory!
Yeah, thank you, Nina. I enjoyed making that video. That was a lot of fun.
Round 2. Victory!
That worked out really well.
Round 3. Victory!
All right. That should be the night order done. Raven, since the next hero appears to be a female rapier hero, are there any historical figures they could reference? My bet is they're going to reference the Musketeers. That is my theory. Wouldn't make a lot of sense there weren't any female Musketeers, but they could very easily reference the Musketeers. That would be their best bet. And frankly, I'm not excited about it. I'll still enjoy it. I'll still give my piece to them. But if I'm being honest, I do not believe that going rapier hero was the right decision. I still say it was a bad call. I am not excited about the rapier. I'm just not. I know lots of people are. I know lots of people are. But I'm not one of them. You think it'll be a Spanish grenadier? I doubt it.
Round one.
What's part of the Order's lore? Why is that, Nina? Because the rapier historically was primarily a duelist weapon. It was not intended for the battlefield. The rapier is a terrible weapon to bring into medieval warfare. The rapier was a cheaply made weapon designed for flexibility and quick movement. It was not designed to endure long-lasting punishment. In fact, rapiers were infamous for breaking. How infamous were they for breaking? Most musketeers fought with two weapons, a rapier in one hand and a mangoche dagger in the other. What was the mangoche dagger designed to do? I'm glad you asked. The mangoche dagger's job was to catch the enemy's rapier and twist it against the built-in hook to break the enemy's rapier. You would not invent a weapon specifically to break the enemy's weapon if it could not be done well. So now take that rapier that could even be snapped by other rapiers and put it against a longsword, or a kanabo, or a masakari, or a guandao, or a broadaxe, or a halberd. Try any of those weapons against a rapier. I guarantee you that rapier's not going to last long. And I know what everyone says. God damn it, I hate. I don't think the hero will suck. I think the hero will play great. It just won't be practical. I keep mistiming the parries, god damn it. Then were they just for fancy show? Well, Hannah, you gotta understand. It's a good question, Hannah. I'm glad you asked it. Like, it's honestly a good question. So, rapiers were designed because of the advance of technology. When you look at technology in war, how it changed, you start off like in the caveman era, the primitive days, where you have very limited armor, but you have brutal weapons that can do a lot of bludgeoning damage. So you start making new armor. You make armor out of fur, out of pelts, out of leather, anything you can get your hands on, right? But then as armor progresses, you start using better armor. You start using gambeson, woven leather, stuff like that. You start using wetted cloth. You start using different ways to make armor. But as your armor gets better, weapons get better. So advanced time, several hundred years, we get to the era of the knights, and now you have steel armor, iron armor, and you have shields and swords, right? Well, let's advance the armor even more. Now you have fully encompassing armor like what Lawbringer carries, right? Very few things are going to break through that. Very few things are going to break through that. You need to make specialized two-handed weapons to break through that. This is the peak of armor and weaponry, okay? But then something changes. Something changes that changes the entire battlefield. What is it? Firearms. Guns. Why did they change the battlefield? It's simple. Because firearms are cheaper to make than the armor that could stop them. Armor existed at the time that could stop early firearms. That's where you get the term bulletproof armor from. Because back in medieval days, you had armor that could block bullets. They existed. They weren't common, and they were very expensive to make. but they existed. So now you're a noble lord and you want to go to war. Well, what do? Do you make super expensive armor for all your soldiers? Or do you equip them all with guns that are much cheaper to make? So now the ways of war have changed. To save money, everybody's got guns now. Everybody's wearing guns. No one's wearing that big bulky armor anymore. It's not as essential anymore. It's not as necessary. We have firearms. So what do we do now? How does that advance from there? Well, enter the era where we're like, okay, we can't have all this big bulky armor, and we still need to be able to fight up close. So we need some kind of armor that can do okay against bullets, just not a full set. Enter the rapier and the musketeer's metal cuirass. The musketeers usually wore a single domed metal cuirass that could block a simple musket bullet pretty effectively. They didn't wear a helmet, they didn't wear gauntlets, they didn't wear shiny greaves or pauldrons. They only wore this metal cuirass. Why? Because most often that's where the musket ball is going to be aimed, right at the chest, and that's what they decided to protect against. And since they only needed one piece of armor, there was no need for the super heavy, powerful weaponry like a broadaxe or a longsword. All you need is a quick rapier that can strike at very small points like the face or the shoulder or the leg or the arm. The rapier was very good at being able to hit a singular point that was well protected. Oh my god, I'm misreading everything. Did musketeers at least have decent armor? They had a metal cuirass that could stop a musket, so yes, they had that. Okay, then that makes a lot of sense now that you said it, but thanks for explaining it. Oh, no problem, Nina. Basically, blocking would be a nightmare for a rapier, assuming realism. Exactly. And then come all the people who argue against this. And they always say the same things, and they annoy the hell out of me. Shit. And usually what they say are things like, oh, they could change the stance, or they could use a cloth protection. That doesn't change anything. That does not change anything. The rapier is still going to have a hard time, because that cloth weaponry isn't going to work against every weapon. And then, of course, the classic, realism doesn't matter in this game, Raven. We have Shaolin who blocks things with his forearm, and I'm like, you're right, I agree, that's not realistic. I did not say that I approved of what Shaolin does. I don't think we should make it a regular thing to make everything unrealistic. We technically already have a rapier here in the form of Peacekeeper. Peacekeeper's probably as close as I'd want to get to a rapier. You know your history well. I studied this stuff. This was part of my college learning. I studied medieval warfare and history. I wrote a whole paper on it. I wrote a paper on the advancement of weaponry and technology in the Crusading era, the medieval period, feudal Japan. This is my area of expertise, which is why I'm not the best For Honor content creator, because I don't focus on gameplay as much as I do history and storytelling. But yeah. Are there any other thrusting swords that would be better? Sure, Xi'an. Give us a Wulin hero with a Xi'an sword. It is a thrusting style sword that is much stronger than the rapier, is made for dueling, is lightweight, sturdy, but flexible, and is the classic Chinese sword. I am stunned the Wulin have been around as long as they have, and we haven't gotten one Xion hero. That blows my mind. With the new Wulin hero coming later, I pray they have a Xion. They'll probably make it a Lubu inspired hero with a halberd, but I pray for a Xion. Please, please give me a Xion. Would scimitars be effective at all? Scimitars aren't a thrusting weapon, though. They're a slicing weapon. The whataboutism still alive in this day and age? Yeah, unfortunately. It is the way of things, sadly. Let's play Hannah. Yeah, I made Hannah. Crazy, right? How many soldiers wore treated leather instead of steel plate? Which era are you talking about? Which era are you talking about? Which country? Which warriors?
You lost Zone A.
I'm gonna heal up. Alright. Hey Milk, how you doing, man? It's been kind of a rough stream, but we're doing okay. What are my opinions on the man catcher? You mean the weapon? Not a practical weapon. I mean, kind of neat, but not very practical. That's Hannah feeding someone one of her peanut butter and egg delectables. Wait, isn't the rapier a European weapon? How would that work for an Outlander? I mean, I kind of agree. I feel like a rapier hero should be a knight hero, if anything, but let them do what they want. I mean, after all, pirate's a Cantonese woman, and that would work very well for the Wulin. Ah, shit. Bought 3 black priors are hell. What's the most impractical weapon you've ever heard of? Nunchucks. Nunchucks are probably the most impractical weapon I can think of. And yet everyone loves them. When are we going to get a hero front with nunchucks? How about when hell freezes over? Tell that to Bruce Lee. Yeah, because acting is exactly the same as real fighting. Don't get me wrong, Bruce Lee's competent. He's cool. A lot of what he does is for TV, though. A lot of what he does is for the movies. You cannot take it seriously. Or are they called nunchucks because they make Chuck numb? Maybe.
You captured Zone C.
Well, I love how people try to say, no, the nunchucks are actually really good. Yeah, they can be fine if you have the skill to pull it off. But why would you need to go through the training and time to become good with nunchucks when you have weapons that can do even better damage with half of the time? Was Bruce Lee good with nunchucks? Yeah.
Lost Zone C.
Well, I'm kind of nerfed because my timing is all off because of this weird Wi-Fi issue. Like, I can't react as well as I normally do.
You captured Zone A. You lost Zone A.
That sucks. We made a section staff different from a nunchuck? Not a lot. Mostly that a section staff could be put back together again. And even then, I don't think a section staff is that great a weapon anyway. Again, it comes down to practicality. Many people don't understand this, but in a real battle, in a real warfare scenario, battles and fights don't look flashy and cool and fancy. There's a lot of just slamming weapons into each other that happens. Sure, there's technique involved, but you've got to use weapons that are going to be practical and useful. Want to know why the spear was so popular in the ancient days? Because it was simple and easy to use. You could grab a random peasant, shove a spear in their hand, teach them how to use it in an afternoon, and now you're taking them out into combat the next day. There was always value in the basics and the simplicity. If you had to choose what you're going to arm your soldiers with, you need to arm them with something that will make them effective at limited cost and time.
You lost Zone C. You captured Zone A.
Alright, it looks like everyone's starting to leave, so I'm probably going to get off soon anyway. But yeah, thank you guys for coming. I hate that tonight was what it was. I find it funny that we're about to lose this Dominion match. I think we've lost all Dominion matches tonight,
Lost Zone A.
even though they were against bots.
Your team is breaking. Your team rallied.
All right.
Enemy team is breaking. Your team rallied. Your team is breaking.
Yeah, go ahead, Tristan. That's fine.
You lost Zone A. You captured Zone A.
If we kill that Tiandi, we win. Thank goodness. That was rough. But yeah, Tristan, ask away. Oh, you're leaving Assassin? All right. Yeah, it looks like a lot of people are bailing. Any weapon you think would be good from Forge and Fire? I haven't watched Forge and Fire, so nope. I'll play my new Kensei. If a person says you should avoid video games because they're unrealistic, therefore they're against God, what do you think about that? It's nonsense. Why would it be against God to play something that isn't real? When you play chess, you are moving imaginary pieces on a board called kings, queens, bishops, and knights. Because they're not real kings, queens, bishops, and knights, does that mean that that's imaginary and it's against God? That's ludicrous. That is a ludicrous assumption.
You lost Zone A.
Who has the most impractical weapon in For Honor? Probably Magi. Either Magi or Shinobi, I would say.
You captured Zone C. You lost Zone C.
You love that I didn't say Shaolin? I'd take a stick over what Shinobi and Medjai have. Because at least a stick can be used to bludgeon. A stick can be used with range. A stick can cause serious damage if applied with the right amount of force. Shinobi's weapon requires a miracle. Medjai's weapon requires God. Only under those two conditions will those weapons ever be practical.
You lost Zone A. You lost Zone C. You captured Zone C.
Is there a chance you could build some type of mythical roach and make a video about it? Maybe. You would have liked to Medjai got a Kopesh instead? I don't mind what they got, but it's impractical. Like, the question was, which weapons do I think are the most impractical? And I think Shinobi's and Medjai's are.
Lost Zone C. You captured Zone A.
Who's my favorite hero? Nusha, probably.
You captured Zone C.
What type of media do you personally avoid for your faith? I avoid anything that is sacrilegious. So LED. LED isn't sacrilegious, they're just incredibly stupid.
Enemy team is breaking.
If I could add one weapon to each faction, what would they be? For the knights, an actual warhammer. For the samurai, a nagamaki. For the Wulin, a Xi'an. For the Vikings, they get nothing and like it. And for the Outlanders, Rajput.
Enemy team is breaking. Your team is breaking. The enemy rally.
I can use feats too, dumbass.
Enemy team is breaking. Victory!
What other weapons do the Vikings use besides swords and spears? Axes. In fact, it was far more common for Vikings to use axes than swords. Because axes were cheap and easy to get. Swords were not. In fact, if you really want to analyze the Vikings in their entirety, if you really want to know what Vikings looked like, I love how, I think it's really funny, a lot of people say, oh, we need really accurate Vikings in For Honor. Like, give them chainmail, man. You want to know how many Vikings wore chainmail? Few. The wealthy Vikings wore chainmail. The wealthy Vikings got gambeson. You want to know what most of them wore? Whatever they had on. Because a lot of Vikings were just men who wanted to get rich quick, and so they went on raids to other lands to steal gold, valuables, or just someone else's property. Because that's what Vikings did. They were essentially raiders and pirates. They rode out in their ships, they found easily grabbable land, they jumped off, raided, killed, pillaged, took slaves, raped, did whatever they needed to do, and then they either kept the land they landed on to turn it into farming land so that they could make a profit off of it, or they went back home with all the loot that they stole and got ready to sell it on the market. So all these people who go on and on about, we need Vikings who wear chainmail, and they need to all wear, like, plate armor, and they need all these really cool weapons. You want to know what the average Viking looked like? A ragamuffin with a beard, wearing a tunic, carrying an axe in one hand, and a shoddy shield in the other, if they could afford that. What's the biblical view on cussing? Is it acceptable or sinful? The Bible tells us that everything we say should be spoken as if with the will of God. So cussing probably isn't a great thing to do. Well, the thing is, a lot of these people who want all this crap for the Vikings are just Viking lovers who don't know the first thing about historical Vikings. I'm gonna be real. Most of what people want to know. One of the reason why Valhalla sold so well, even though it's very similar to Assassin's Creed Shadows, because most people do not know the actual history of Vikings or the actual cultural significance of who they were. Most don't know, and most don't care. They're all edgy Viking LARPers. They don't know the first thing about real Vikings. They just know what pop culture has told them.
Lost zone A. You captured zone C.
The reason why, here's the reason. I was talking to Lark about this the other day. The reason why Assassin's Creed Shadows failed and Assassin's Creed Valhalla did well is this. Ubisoft wanted to appeal to the Viking fans. And the truth is, most Viking fans don't know anything about Viking society or culture because Viking society and culture is dead. The need for Viking is no longer a thing. It's no longer necessary. Viking is no longer an essential trade that people have to partake in. Because of that, the actual culture and ways of the Vikings have been lost to time and to superstition and pop culture. So all they had to do was sprinkle just a tad of authenticity. And they knew no one's going to care about anything else. We gave them Vikings, and that's all they want. All they want is, look, Vikings! It's all good Vikings! So cool, Vikings! And that's all they need. Only later, as the game was out for a longer time and more DLCs were added, did people start to go, okay, this seems a little stupid. Why? Because all they focused on was Norse mythology. That's why they went so hard with Odin and Thor and Freya and all this other horse shit that they added to the game that nobody liked. But it's okay because when it first came out, it was Vikings! And anyone who said some of this isn't realistic, oh, of course it is. They use some things from Viking lore you don't know about. When in reality, it's just sprinkling in little tidbits of Viking history without actually diving into what they really were. For example, every mission you go on, you steal supplies. Vikings didn't steal supplies. What did they actually steal, you morons? Say it. Say it loud and proud. They stole gold, valuables, and people. They stole gold, valuables, people, and land. Why are you not saying that? Because you know that the Viking LARPers don't actually want to admit that. They don't actually want to acknowledge, okay, yeah, we did some heinous, fucked up things. We actually contributed and largely sponsored the Arabic slave trade. We've raped so many people, even Genghis Khan would give us the thumbs up. We stole so much land, England is partially Viking owned now. But now why did that work though and not Assassin's Creed Shadows? Here's why. Because they tried to do the same thing with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Look, everyone loves Japan. Just throw Japan things in there. Just throw popular Japan thing. People will love it. But what they didn't realize is that Japan has a culture. Japan has an existing culture today and a lot of people who care about it. Japan isn't just some one-off little culture that's no longer existing anymore. There are people who live in Japan, and there are people who know a great deal about samurai history, life, figures, weapons. And because of that, when they released it, everyone said, dude, this isn't accurate. And they just tried to go, oh, pshaw, it's Japan. Deal with it. So whereas the Viking LARPers will be okay with any fantasized Viking as long as you don't make them evil, Japan gives a shit.
Capture Zone C.
See, here's the thing. I recognize the importance of Vikings in history.
You lost.
We would not have the world today we do if not for the Vikings. But to not acknowledge the evils they did, to just focus on Viking LARPing, pagan LARPing, it's not real. And it is actually disingenuous and dishonest about actual history. A lot of pagan LARPers out there, I believe, are just atheists who don't want to be considered atheists. What did I think of Mirage? Stupid. I thought Mirage was ridiculously stupid and an obvious false flag. We're returning to roots, but you know, we're still gonna mention everything that we didn't have at our roots. How did I feel about the horse race mode? Wait, that one thing in the Viking game, in the Viking story mode? I didn't care about that. It was like for a few minutes of the story mode and didn't come up again.
team rallied. Your team is breaking. Enemy team is breaking.
Bot 3 shamans, dude. Literally deflected me twice in a row without any effort. Why didn't that last hit kill that shaman? Oh my god, I'm about to crash out. I really am. Do you think the stamina change is a bit too much yet? Yes, I do.
Lost Zone C. You capture Zone A. You captured Zone C.
I hate the bot 3 BPs more.
Victory.
I needed that. All right, let's start to wrap this up. Let's see how far we got in the battle pass. Nice. All right. Well, I'm probably going to call it there because playing with just bots is really rough. I'm going to try to get a LAN cable and hopefully we can try again another time and see if it works better next time. But it was rough. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm kind of worn out, so I'm going to call it. Thank you guys so much, and I'm going to head out. Hope you guys enjoyed. Take care. We will try another stream tomorrow. Later.